When things start to go south at the business, man, we come up with all kinds of excuses. I've said many of them myself. When our sales start to sag, when customers start disappearing, when our staff becomes broken, we reach for any straw that we can grab. And while some of these reasons are real, some things exist like COVID, something on the macro scale, these are real reasons. But some of these things require us to look in the mirror and say, is it me? Is there something that I could be doing to make things better? Or are there things that I'm not doing that are making things worse? In this video, we can talk about 10 common excuses that business owners use when things start going south. When things start getting a little rough at the business and things start going south, it's easy for us to grab at straws. It's easy for us to point fingers, make excuses, blame others, but there are other reasons too that we fail to address. Sometimes we need to look in the mirror and ask ourselves a simple question. Am I doing something that's making the business suffer? Or am I doing everything that I could do in my powers to make it better? One of the most popular excuses or reasons that I've heard through the years, I'm sure you've heard them too, is the economy is bad. Things aren't always great in the economy, right? And things can feel a little stressed, things can feel a little tougher and a little tighter. See, the thing is, it's not just us that's feeling the effects, right? If we're feeling the effects, then the customers are feeling the effects. Our local community is feeling the effects. Businesses still do well in down economies, but it's the one that protect the customer experience, right? You're always going to see a business with a line out the door, even in downtimes. All that we can do is control what we can control at the shop. What things can we be doing better? Are we offering promotions? Do we have great service? Do we have consistency in our product? Do we have a clean shop? Speed? Friendliness, advertising, fair price, good product, and good overall experience, then customers will vote our way. When you do the opposite of that, when you start letting things slip because things have become a little tough, because our sales are sagging, customers will see it. They'll see it and quietly go away. All we can really do is what we do with our own selves in our everyday life. Always make the next best decision. That's all we can do. That's all you can control. My next decision, the way I'm going to be at my business is what I can control. The way we're going to operate is what we can control. And then let the rest fall into place. In my experience is that customers come back, they'll stick around because the overall experience is a good experience. They're still going to come back with that hard-earned dollar. Let's put away excuse number one, that it's the economy. Here's one I've heard about labor. Things are going bad because the labor force. Generation these days, they don't want to work anymore. They used to work so much harder. What I found many times is that's not true. People want to work. They want to do a good job for you, but it comes down to a few different things. And that's hiring, how you hire, how we hire, our practices, the culture of our shop, the culture of our business. What are the rules? What are the standards? Because what I've found is employees want to work at a good facility. They don't want to work in a place that has broken systems and chaotic structure. They all talk amongst each other. They all know what it's like to work at a good facility versus a bad one. So if you start letting things slip, people calling out sick on their cell phones, not taking their training seriously, then we have a mess on our hands. We need people that are going to be working hard, people that are going to be dedicated, people that are going to be trained well, and people that are committed to their job. But guess what? Again, we look in the mirror and it starts with us, right? It starts with us. So we set the culture, we set the tone. It's up to us to identify who's who, hire the right people that should reflect us and our business. These days, the delivery companies and platforms have taken over, and many food business operators will blame these popular platforms. Oh, because of this company, I'm not doing well. Or, oh, because of that one, I'm not doing well. But in my experience, the truth is these companies are helping in many ways. During COVID, I found my sales sagging for a couple weeks, hard. COVID had just started and customers went away and we were just on the brink of shutting down, right? Being ordered to shut down. But then the orders started printing more and more every day. And it was up to me to adapt to that. I had to make sure my pricing was right? Because many of these platforms will charge you fees. We can't blame those fees. They have to make money, right? They're going to take our product to our customer. They're the in-between, right? They're taking their cut. It's a high cut, but they're taking their cut. So we have to offset that with implementing that same amount, right? So we don't lose anything. Let's use these platforms as a tool to help us grow. Just another avenue of sales, another way to stay fresh in our customers' mind. Service times matter for those, right? You place your order, it says it'll be there in 30 minutes. Well, that tag prints right away at your shop. You've got 10 minutes to work on it, but the driver shows up within 5. Meanwhile, you have a bunch of other tags and a bunch of customers in front of you and phone orders. Okay. there's no crying, right? We have to deal with that. So we have to adapt. We have to find ways to mesh the two together so that we can do this profitably and expand our customer base, not lose it. It's also not a bad idea to stuff promotional merchandise inside of that bag that's going out. Packaging is a big deal. Your sandwich wraps, your bag, they open it up and everything's spilled in there or it's not labeled. We've forgotten things. Is this the same experience that they get in shop? These could be irritants for customers that are trying to still be our customers or become new customers via the app. Also, don't forget about the dining experience at your shop. They've come to us, right? So if we're too busy doing these tags, these online tags, these delivery tags, and we're ignoring now the walk-in customers, that works against us too, because quietly we're going to lose that base, right? I know it's happened to me. So let's keep that in mind. Let's take care of the customers that come into our shop, make sure that they're receiving the best value service that we've ever provided for them. One customer at a time, one order at a time. We can do it. So let's look at that as an opportunity instead of using it as an excuse. I've also heard people say, oh, the customers only care about price. You raise the price and they stop coming or they complain. That's another one that could be pretty false. People don't pay for the product necessarily. Let's say your sandwich at your shop is $13.99. People look at that price and say, yeah, that's $13.99. But really what they're buying, really what they're paying for is the overall experience again. Everything in your shop. You, us, our staff, the facility, cleanliness, speediness, attentiveness, all of these things matter. Quality, general overall experience. So what happens is customers will look at that, and again, with that $20 bill in their hand, they're going to look, do I want to spend it here, this place that seems like they care about me and they value me as a customer, or am I going to go somewhere else where I get that feeling? So it's up to us, every customer, every time, to make them feel that. If not, they're just going to look at your overall experience and say, it's not worth this anymore. But I found a new place where it is. So it's not price necessarily that's driving your customer base up or down, it's overall experience. Let's always remember that, and it's important for us to teach our staff and train, let everyone know that without the customer, there's nothing. Oftentimes when things get rough, you'll also hear business owners say that, oh, there's just too much competition now, right? There's always been too much competition. There's always competition. Everyone wants a slice of the pie, right? You do, I do, they do, so we can all coexist. But competition will always expose the weaknesses in our systems. If we're not operating well and a new business comes around and sets up shop like, hey, everyone, I'm here, come and get it, customers will go and try them out, and they're going to vote. If they feel like, hey, this new facility is offering me what I'm looking for. This is the experience I want. The other one across the street, our shop, our business, yours, not doing it anymore. They used to seem like they cared, and now they don't. So remember that we have all of these things that we can work on: cleanliness, hospitality, service, speed, quality, attention to detail, consistency, so many things that we can do so that when a competitor shows up, no problem, right? Show up. I'm still good because I'm doing my job as best as I can. The truth is that we're often concerned with our competition when we shouldn't be concerned with them so much. Always keep your eyes on them. Make sure you know what they're doing and what they're not doing. But let's stay focused on ourselves. Let's stay focused on our operation. We open on day one and we're happy. Everything's great. Everything's new. Customers are excited. There's a new place in town. And then things start to fade away and we wonder what happened? What happened? Well, what happened is that we took our eye off the ball. Somebody else came around and they gave the customers what they want. The customers always want you to solve a pain point for them, right? Something, and that's business. What's the pain point? They're looking for food and they want a nice experience. And then so you show up and say, that's me. I'm going to give that to you. That's it. That's the business. But if we take our eyes off the ball and go like, oh, you know what? Sorry, you have to wait. Oh, sorry, the wait is so long. Yeah, I don't have enough staff to clean the tables. Yeah, I'm not training my staff because it's too busy and I don't have enough people, whatever the reasons are. Customers just go, okay. And then just drift away. They just drift away. They don't owe us anything. So let's remember that. Always keep it tight, always keep it good with regards to everything in our operation. Sometimes you think, oh, marketing is difficult now, or marketing doesn't work these days. Nothing can be further from the truth, right? Things have become so much easier these days. Now with the digital platforms that we have and the smartphone in our pocket, boom, boom, we could have an ad running by the afternoon, no problem. We can do so many other things at the shop, or kind of guerrilla tactics. I've mentioned it in a previous video. You can do door hangers, bag stuffers, sign spinners, community outreach, getting on the phone and calling your local medical facilities, automobile dealers, your schools. There are Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok, so many different platforms these days to use, but we have to be consistent. I've been there before. You post a little and you fade away. You post a little and you fade away. You try something one time, you didn't really record the data, you're not sure, seem to work, seem to not work, cost a few bucks, I'll do it maybe some other time. Inconsistent, right? So customers forget that we are there. If we don't advertise, if they don't see us, then they don't see us. If they don't see us, we don't exist. And then how can we expect to grow when people don't see us? It's up to us to stay in front of the customer. Everyone's fighting for this attention. Why not us? Why not you? Jump in front and say, me, I opened a business so that you guys can come. Here I am doing my best every day, every week to get you to come in. All of these advertising and marketing things that we could do at any given time that'll boost our sales and boost our overall attention in the public. That's what it's all about. Repeat customers. Without it, without their attention, they go away. I've often heard, and I've used myself, food costs are out of control. Food costs are high. There was a time that they really kind of worked right after COVID. If you see percentages leaking, it's usually an indication that there's something broken in our operating system. This is important because generally for our business, there's already a target number. It's anywhere around 30, 28 to 31, let's call it, target area for your food costs. Okay, if you start rising above that, you should take note, right? This is why reviewing our P&Ls and our POS software reports that are generated are very important, and knowing our food costs and how much each of our builds are. This way we can pretty much track that food cost percentage, because it's a percentage of a large sale number. So if you're off 1%, that's a large number still, right? It just sounds small when you say 1%, but 1% of a large number is a large number. It's up to us to review these food costs and to look at our systems. Are we tracking our waste? Are we tracking our portions? Do we have proper sandwich builds? Do our employees and staff know the builds and the exact amounts that every sandwich should be? How much cheese goes on it? How much meat goes on it? How many condiments go on it? Like how many pickles? How many onions? How many tomatoes? How thick are those tomatoes? How much does that bread cost? How much is a swipe of mayo? We have to do that. This is our business. So we need to know what the bill cost on a sandwich is, what our average invoice bill is on an average order weekly and monthly, and certainly yearly. You want to look at that number, and if it's right, then we know we're operating correctly. And if it's wrong, we need to figure out why. So if you start drifting above those targets, right, 33, 34, 35%, we need to look. There's a problem. It's broken. And it's usually an overportioning and things in those areas. And it's up to us as business owners to identify what's going on, retrain our staff, make sure that we're not losing an ounce here and an ounce there, because at the end of the day, that could be several hundreds a week and certainly several thousands a month. You could work hard and try your best to offset these profit leaks with sales, but it just won't happen. The math doesn't add up. It doesn't work that way. So protect that bottom line, protect your profit dollars at all times. We're just in a bad location. That's why people aren't coming. That's another one. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes we don't get the best A location, right? We might have a B location or a C location. Hopefully you don't have a D or an F. But if you have one of those lesser than areas, let's say a B or a C location, I had like a strong B. I'm not even sure if I'd call it a B plus. And that's why I had to work a little harder. So if you have a B location or a C location, customers will still come. You just have to do a little bit more to get things to come in. Again, you do your own local marketing, you concentrate on your service, your staffing, your cleanliness, your operations, your consistency, your involvement in the community, and then you can be that big fish in a little pond. You can be the big fish in your community, the sandwich shop, the business that the community wants to come to on their downtime or the time off or when they have a special event coming up. So location doesn't always mean everything. A location isn't always going to do it for you, and a B location, you may have to work a little harder. Stay away from those other locations, right? People will still come to your location so long as you've got your operation nailed down in other areas. Some people blame social media these days. There's too much noise out there and there's too much competition. People will write bad reviews. Some people feel that social media is not good for businesses, right? Because a bad review will spread rather quickly. Loyalty fades as soon as the next ad pops up on somebody's feed. Once again, we have to use those tools to our advantage. If someone's gonna write a review, let's see if we can make it a good review. Let them know, hey, if they like their service so much, they like this so much, go ahead and share that online with us. I've been there. I've had some bad reviews. I've also had a lot of good ones, right? The good ones feel great. The bad ones, not so good. Post a photo of your sandwich. Other people saying that, oh, whoa, what is that? That's good. Same can be true if we do the opposite, right? Bad service, bad product, photo, and a review. So let's use these platforms as a way to elevate ourselves, right? We put ourselves out in the community, we post consistently, and we can show what we're doing. We use it to launch our promotions and show that we've got certain going-ons at the business, certain going-on at the shops that they can take advantage, right? Then people kind of engage with us, they feel a little bit more connected with us, and they'll be more loyal, a little more lenient too when things don't go so well. If they have one bad experience, one off experience at our shop. Social media can be a way for us to grow rather than a way for us to get trashed. So we want to be part of the good communication that spreads, right? People still like to talk about good restaurants out there. So if they like us, if they know that we're a good place to go to, then that's what they're going to say. They're going to say it online. So let's use it to our advantage. Down with that excuse that social media is bad for businesses. It's here to stay, so let's use it to our favor. And here's the final big one. We've tried everything. We've tried everything, and things are bad. Okay. Is that true? Have we tried everything? Usually the answer to that, and I've been guilty of it myself, is we haven't. We haven't, right? So when we do so though, when we're honest with ourselves, we get our systems in place, we get our systems in line, we have standards, speed, cleanliness, customer experience, systems that we're using, and we communicate those things, then things start to turn around for us. At the end, it's always best to try to protect and just try to operate well from the get-go, from day one. If not, you go through a cycle, kind of what I did. I opened well, and then I started finding that things were a little bit difficult. And I started realizing that it was revealing my weaknesses. So I didn't take it lying down. I started finding ways to make things better. I started coming up with solutions, studying the business, finding out what I was doing wrong, admitting when I was doing things and when I wasn't doing things, when I could be better at certain areas of the operation. It's not the easiest thing for a lot of us to do. I'm not sure what it's like for you. I'm not sure how you deal with things, how you cope with things. Again, I'm just sharing my experience. I had 12 years operating this business. They weren't always perfect, right? I opened, I had my honeymoon phase, I had my earlier years where I started to struggle, and I had to realize that I had to come up with ways to make things better, but it wasn't always apparent. I had to grow within too. I had to learn how to admit faults and admit blame, take it and be accountable for it and be okay with that. And say, just because that happened doesn't mean that that's the way it has to be. Again, there's things that we can't control, but there are many things we can't control. And if we can look in the mirror and say, I'm really doing everything consistently I possibly can, then we can sleep at night, right? But if we're not, then we have some work to do. So all right, guys, that's all for now. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I wanted to make a video, 10 reasons, 10 excuses that many business owners use when things aren't going so well. Feel free to like or drop a comment below. There's also a few links in the video description, things that I put together over 12 years operating my high revenue, high profit sandwich shop. So if these can be helpful for you, I'm happy to share them. You'll find the link in the description below. All right, guys, until next time, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.